Hey guys, Jay here, and today I want to talk about Last Epoch. The game has just released the 1.1 like yesterday for me, and I have played it since yesterday. Not like a lot of it. I didn't grind like 24/7, but I think I have played a fair amount, like probably like 4 hours or something. I take it very slowly, really, try to test things out. Anyway, the game feels great at the moment. There is no issues whatsoever. They seems to completely fix everything that happened from the initial release of the game, which kind of drive a lot of people away from the game because they literally cannot play it with a lot of serious connection issues. Anyway, now that is not a problem whatsoever. It has been super smooth so far for me, and I do not see really anyone complain about anything like that so far. Anyway, they also added a bunch of new stuff to the game as well, which is very good. The pinnacle bosses, the endgame stuff, and also a nemesis system, which is I would think it is a very good system. It gives fair reward for a challenge. So far, I have not seen it as a real challenge because it seems to be a little bit undertuned in the campaign, but maybe they will get harder later. Reward is awesome though. Anyway, a lot of reasons to jump into the game right now. If you haven't, I would highly recommend it. And now let's get to the main part of this video, which is 5 tips for new players. And I would say that it will immediately improve your overall experience with the game if you do these 5 simple things. And the first one is to go for a filter. You can bring it up if you play on PC. You can just press Shift and F, right? And this is the basic filter that I got for myself. I have been using it for leveling right now. Simply add a rule like this, right? So normally you will press create a new filter, and then you can choose, whatever kind of description, test, newbie stuff, whatever. The name is newbie, right? Whatever. Just create one, right? Now you have a new filter, and what you can do from here is to add rules. And the simplest rule is simply to hide. Choose the rarity of the item here, because what I would recommend you to do is to hide normal and magic item because they are pretty much worthless overall, right? So simply do this right away. Like after the first like 5 levels or something, will immediately improve your gameplay because you don't have to look at the trash that is dropping all over the places. And yeah, later of course you can either edit this rule. For example, you can also hide rare items if you don't want to see them anymore, and so on and so forth. You also of course can add new rules. You can show them, right? So let's just say if this item is the hiding all rare and all magic and normal item, but if you still want to see a specific magic item with some kind of stat, you can also do affix, right? And you can choose the exact affix that you want. For example, if you want to show any item with movement speed, just tick on it, add it. As long as this rule is above on the list to the hiding rule, it will still show every item with movement speed on it. That is just an example, right? Normally you don't care about that. Anyway, of course, you can also highlight the items that you really want to look for by recoloring them so you don't miss them, right? Recolor. You have a bunch of color code here, right? And yeah, just add the condition. If you want like class requirement, you want all the things that like specific to mage class, you can do it like this. These are just very simple example that you can do for yourself. Also, Right, let me delete that filter. You can also actually open filter folder here. This means that you can import other people's filter, and it's actually quite simple. You just go to the whatever source you get that filter, either from like YouTuber or Maxroll or Last Epoch tool, wherever you get it, open the filter folder. It will open a Windows for you, and just copy the filter file in here, and you get the filter, and then you can just choose it in the list here and run it. That is very, very simple. So that is the first thing. The second thing, craft. Craft early and craft often. In this game, crafting is probably the one of the best feature, and I think personally, I still think this game has the best crafting system in all ARPG in general. It does not get really in-depth and complex like PoE, but it is very intuitive, very easy to understand, and it feels great on gear progression basically. For example, let's say you put in an item like this, right? It has 4 stat already, so you can simply choose if you want more melee critical strike chance here. You can just click on the arrow on it, and then you can upgrade it as long as you have the affix shard, right? Very, very simple. If you have an item, for example, this one only have 3 stat, you can choose what is the 4 stat that you are adding to it. For example, I want to add health here. I choose health in the list, and I add it. And now the item has health. Just like that. Every item by default on crafting, you can craft up to tier 5 on an affix, right? You can no longer upgrade it after tier 5. No, this one doesn't have any. For example, this one, tier 5 movement speed. As you can see, you no longer have an upgrade arrow. But if it is a dropped item, right? For example, this one, you can also have up to tier 7 affix. That is called exalted affix, and it'll make the item purple, right? Tier 6 and tier 7 is exalted, and they cannot be upgraded. They can only be dropped naturally from the ground. So this kind of item is actually the one you will be crafting more often in the end game. However, what I recommend you is to don't be shy from crafting even the shittiest gear, lowest level gear that you get, because the material for crafting here are just shard, and you get a lot of them. They can be on the ground like this, right? Whenever you fight some monster, if you click on one of them, you will pick up all of them. That is very, very good. And also, you don't even need to keep them here. You can just click on transfer material, and it just store every single kind of crafting material here for you. And yeah, you have a list of this one. It is a season account share, right? So every character in the same season or will share the same bank of this. So yeah, it will just pile up over time, and you will have a lot of it basically. That brings me to the next tip. Is not this one. The next tip is also about crafting. It is actually about this thing, Rune of Shattering. This thing is actually very, very, very valuable early on, especially if you do not have a lot of crafting material ready. This is super good because if you choose to use this one, right? You shatter. As you can see here, I gain a bunch of shard, and I can use this shard to craft other items. So this is a very, very good way to quickly build up your bank of material for crafting. I learned this one very early on from Ziggy, right? So the tip here is in the vendor in town, right? Whenever you are back in town, you sell, your random items, your random trash that you don't want to keep to the vendor. You'll see a bunch of Rune of Shattering. Use your gold. Even if you have 2k gold, you're not going to use it for anything early on anyway, and you will get way, way more later into the game because the gold that you get kind of scale with your level as well. The gold will drop, right? So just get the Rune of Shattering from the shop, as many as possible, and then use them on anything that you find, basically, that you don't use. So it will quickly build up your bank, and then, of course, whenever you see an item with like potential to be something good, right, you can use the shard to craft them, and then it becomes a very good item for you, either in the end game, mid game, even early game. So craft often, because you can have a lot of shards, so you don't need to, keep a very high stock on them for any reason whatsoever, right? That is the third one. The fourth tip that I'm going to give you is in the skill here, right? Every class have a lot of skills, and every skills, if you put them into the specialized slot over here, will have a lot of options to choose from. And if you want to, kind of build your character yourself, just make sure that when you choose a main skill, when you like a main skill, when you want to build around it, look for more. Because more damage is simply better. Simply more damage is the best multiplicative. This is probably like the same for PoE, right? Because the Last Epoch dev kind of take a lot of inspiration from PoE. So more is better. Look for more, get the more multiplier, and your skill will do a lot of damage if you want to build the character yourself. Of course, you can follow builds from other people. But yeah, me myself, I kind of like to try to find to learn things myself, build the character myself. It doesn't pay it doesn't get a good result, then I might look it up somewhere in order to get some advices to change my character to be stronger. But if you want to, if that is also your thing, look for more damage. Basically, more is better. Fifth tip, on the quest, right? So if you open the bar here right now, actually right now it's not a good time for me to open a quest, but wait a minute, why can't I see the quest? Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Hide quest. No. Anyway, normally you will see a lot of quests, and the yellow icon here, right, is the main quest, and the blue icon right now I don't have because I just completed everything, and that is also the tip. Do the side quest first, especially the ones that, if you see the reward, if you click on the quest, you will see the reward, and the reward will show you that you can gain 1 passive point or idle slot. Just do it first, because the earlier you do them, the earlier you get the reward, which is extra passive, extra idle slot, which means more power to your character. So do that early and do that often. That is going to be the final tip that I am going to give in this video. Well, let's just do one extra. The thing that I think this game do also very well compared to, a lot of other ARPG is they actually, if you press escape on your keyboard, or whatever key you use on your, whatever button you use on your controller, just bring up the main menu, and there's a game guide over here. Basically, they have everything explained in here. Everything that you need, everything you want to understand is already in here. All the basic explanation of stuff, right? So you can learn a lot from this. For example, if you want to build, let's say, an Ignite, right? You simply can look up and you can see that it can stack an unlimited number of times, right? So that means you want to stack Ignite. By default, stack deals 40 damage or 2.5 seconds. Great, isn't it, right? And yeah, that is everything I had for this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you think this is helpful to you, or you think it might be helpful to someone else that you know. And I'll see you in the next video. I hope you also enjoy Last Epoch at the moment. I am, to be honest, waiting for the next PoE League, but this is going to be a great, great game to play while waiting for it. And yeah, until next time, peace, like and subscribe. Seriously.